Hello class, happy 2 years since COVID started. If you can't believe it, it's been 2 years since everything was normal. It's been 2 years since some of you graduated high school. It's been 2 years since some of us, like me, started college. Today, if you can't tell, we are going to be talking about COVID-19 and more specifically the vaccine, the booster, and why we should get it. I believe that I have credit in talking about this because just like all of you guys, I have lived through COVID the last 2 years and I've seen the benefits in my personal life of getting the COVID-19 vaccine and actually next week getting the booster. Today I'm going to be talking about the vaccines, the boosters, why we should get it, and a couple of reasons why. Hopefully this speech will help you understand why we should get it and the benefits of it. So COVID is a hot topic, and it typically has to do with whether you're left-leaning or right-leaning, mandates and everything like that. But although there are many counterpoints to not getting the COVID-19 vaccine, today we're going to really hammer down as why we should and some of those counterpoints and why they're kind of wrong. So in my first point today, I'm going to be talking about why we should get them in the first place. And my first source on cdc.gov/coronavirus, it talks about the benefits and the benefits of getting the COVID-19 vaccine. So the three that I chose that stand out to me are: number one, it lowers our chances of getting COVID-19. A lot of people are like, if I'm still gonna get COVID, why would I get the vaccine? And this creates that point right there. It lowers your chances significantly, and later on we're gonna talk about the hospitalization versus unvaxxed and vaccinated individuals. The second one is once you're fully vaxxed, you can start to do normal things again. Believe it or not, there were restrictions that we needed to follow, and that was mainly because it was unsafe to do those things like gathering in a public place and going out to the bars, going out to comedy clubs and anything like that. But as we start to get fully vaccinated and now getting the third shot or the booster, we can kind of start to do things normal. And you kind of realize that, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, once we introduced the vaccine in the state of Utah, a lot of things started to open up and started to feel normal. The third one affected my family personally. A lot of counter arguments to not getting the vaccine was it was going to cause women to become infertile and it can mess with pregnancies or anything like that. And the CDC explicitly states that there is no evidence that causes infertility problems amongst women who are attempting to get pregnant or are thinking about getting pregnant. I think it's important to note that because both of my sisters had many questions about that, but once they actually consulted to a doctor, the doctor stated that there is no evidence to support such thing, and they have since gotten pregnant and since have gotten the vaccine. Moving on to my second point, the booster shot. Recently, the CDC approved the Moderna and Pfizer booster shot for all adults. I'm actually scheduled to get mine next Monday. Just along with all my other reasonings on source one are the same reasons why we should get the booster, and then in my source two. In talking about the booster shot is approved for all adults, as I stated, and it increases the protection against COVID-19 and other variants, such as the new one that's been slowly introduced to the world is Omicron. So far, there's only 2 confirmed cases in the United States. Getting the booster will help protect us from the Omicron variant and other variants, such as the Delta one that we heard about, and obviously the original COVID-19. Again, it lowers the chances of going to the hospital, which brings me to my visual aid, which shows that the hospitalization with unvaccinated and vaccinated individuals. If you see right here, the blue line that goes up are the unvaccinated rates of going to the hospital, and this green line down here, which you can barely see, is when you are fully vaccinated and going to the hospital. It's actually 29 times more likely to go to the hospital when you're not vaccinated as opposed to when you are vaccinated. And like I just said, the reasons why we should get vaccinated is to avoid hospitalization. Since introducing the vaccine in the state of Utah in January, the rates have significantly dropped to lower numbers than ever before. And that is shown on the utah.gov/COVID-19 webpage. Moving on to my next point is point number 3 is unvaccinated versus vaccination. As I showed you guys right there, the hospitalization rates are significantly different. And as I stated, that if you are unvaccinated, you have 29 times more likely to go to the hospital for COVID-19 related illnesses as opposed to when you are fully vaccinated, which should tell you right then and there. Nobody likes going to the hospital, especially being on a ventilator or anything like that. So this is another call to action of saying, please get vaccinated. Moving on to the rest of my topics that I wanted to cover is just making sure we're getting the booster, making sure we're getting vaccinated, and make sure we're adhering to the guidelines that they've asked us to do. And the good thing about getting the COVID-19 booster, the COVID-19 vaccines and everything like that is that they're free. And college students, as this is the audience that I'm talking to, loves everything that's free. And if you actually go to uvu.edu/COVID-info, you can get more information regarding the COVID-19 vaccine, COVID boosters, links to the CDC website, and you can look at the scheduling that UVU has to offer these COVID-19 vaccines and boosters for free. The last thing I want to talk about is the importance of getting vaccinated. As I've stated throughout this whole entire thing, I've seen it directly in my life affect me, being on bed rest for 5 days when I got COVID, and seeing my dad almost have to go to the hospital because of COVID, and it's a scary situation. And I was part of that group that I didn't believe in COVID-19 in the beginning, and I was like, this is just a scam, it's fake, I have no idea why we're even talking about this, until I saw family members get affected by that. And until you see close people get affected by it, you don't really think about it, but once it happens, you're like, I want to do whatever I can do to protect myself, protect the family, and make sure everybody who's watching this speech gets vaccinated. So this is me saying one more time, please get vaccinated, get the booster. We're this close to getting back to a normal life. All we need to do is get one more booster, maybe a fourth shot for booster, but we're rounding the corner. And I believe that the vaccines are effective, safe, useful, and we all should take them. Thank you so much for listening to my speech and listening to why I think we should get the vaccine and booster and how important it is. And I wish you guys a safe winter, a good rest of your semester, and hope you guys have a good day. Thank you.